Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another webinar series from ViSThON at Vision Science Academy platform. Our dear participants, it gives us great pleasure to welcome you all to ViSThON webinar at Vision Science Academy platform. We are thrilled to have such an enthusiastic group of individuals who are passionate about optometry and its various aspects. Today's session will be moderated by two experienced professionals, Ms. Sucheta and Professor Prem, who have an extensive background in optometry. We would also like to take a moment to acknowledge that March 23rd is celebrated globally as World Optometry Day. This day is dedicated to recognizing the contributions of optometrists in improving eye health and vision care for people worldwide. I, on behalf of Vision Science Academy team, would like to take this opportunity to honor all our optometrists who work tirelessly to ensure that people receive the best possible eye care. We hope that today's webinar will be informative and engaging for you all. Once again, we welcome you all and we hope that you have a great time in today's webinar. I would like to invite Ms. Sucheta to begin the webinar as our moderator. Let's give a warm welcome to Sucheta and get started with today's webinar. Sucheta, are you there?
Yes, thank you, Peter. So, as we all know that today is World Optometry Day and this year theme is expanding optometry's role, the time is now. And that calls upon we as an optometrist to recognize our responsibilities and our roles to act proactively in collaboration with our organizations and government. And our team at VSA understands this needs of action. As we all know that today we embark our journey to 50th ViSThON webinar. And this is the first time in the history of Vision Science that have conducted such a huge series of webinars. Our journey of 50 webinars started on World Sight Day 2022 with the goal of bringing together experts in the field of vision sciences to share their knowledge and expertise with a wider audience. Through our webinars, we tried to provide opportunities to optometry enthusiasts to learn from the leading experts in the field and stay up to date on the latest research and developments. Thank you all of the speakers and participants who joined and made this event a huge success. For our curious viewers, if you have attended more than 40 webinars, complete webinars, then you will get the certificates within a month from today. Now, before we begin our program, we'd like to share a short video from our sponsor, HOYA.
Introducing MyoSmart, the first ophthalmic lens with DIMS technology that manages myopia progression in children in a safe, easy, effective, and non-invasive way. MyoSmart slows down myopia by an average of 60% compared to regular single vision lenses. This technology is based on the peripheral defocus theory. In the myopic eye, rays are focused in front of the retina and in the periphery behind the retina. With a single vision lens, rays are focused on the retina while there is a hyperopic defocus. MyoSmart with DIMS technology creates a myopic defocus, focusing rays in front of the retina. With unique exclusive DIMS technology, the lens corrects the myopic refractive error on its entire surface and has a ring-shaped treatment area for slowing down myopia progression. All participants who completed the 2-year trial using MyoSmart experience an average of 59% slowdown in myopia progression. And axial elongation decreased by 60% compared to wearers of regular single vision lenses. These benefits have been recognized internationally. MyoSmart received prestigious awards at the International Exhibition of Inventions in Geneva, and won the Cinema d'Or in the Vision category at the Cinema Paris Optical Fair. MyoSmart is the easy, effective, and non-invasive way to manage myopia progression.
Thank you, HOYA, for your support to helping us to achieve our mission of advancing vision science education. Moving ahead with our today's session, it's my honor to introduce our today's speaker, Mr. Prem Kumar Singh. He is an accomplished optometrist and a PhD research scholar with more than 2 decades of experience. He is currently serving as in charge of pediatric optometry, ortho-optics, and binocular vision, as well as senior manager of patient experience at Dr. Saurabh Charity Eye Hospital, New Delhi. Mr. Prem Kumar Singh has been instrumental in expanding the scope of optometry services in North India, having contributed significantly to making the institute a place of optometry fellowship, internship training, and short-term training in various specialties. He is a trained ortho-optics and binocular vision therapist through the HBP program of Orbis International and has received advanced ortho-optics training under the guidance of Dr. Robin Wallace and ortho-optics from the UK. Mr. Prem Kumar Singh also received several awards and recognition, including the Best Optometrist of the Year in 2014 and 2022. In addition, he received the Best Oral Paper Award at the 14th Vision 2020 conference held in 2018. He has also shared his wealth of knowledge by publishing research papers and several clinical and research publications in various national and international conferences and workshops. He has also served as a volunteer faculty of Orbis International, contributing his expertise in pediatric optometry, ortho-optics, and binocular vision at HBP programs both India and internationally. Furthermore, he is a vice president of Delhi Optometry Association and education committee representative of the Indian Optometric Association. His exceptional dedication to the optometry profession and his significant contribution make him an esteemed leader in the field. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Prem Kumar Singh, and let's gain some valuable insights from his experience. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Suchita, and for that exhaustive introduction. And I'd like to thank actually ITM team, Shiv, who has been coordinating all these sessions for such a long period. And of course, the team of VSA for giving me this opportunity. I know there can't be a day for me better than this to actually have this kind of talk. I'll try to justify the responsibility which has been given to me for this such an important day today. If I can share my slides, Suchita.
Not yet, sir.
Okay.
Yes, your slides are visible.
Is the slide shown now?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So for this important day, the topic like this, where the world, in fact, entire globe is struggling to fight with this, the incidence of myopia as well as the progression of myopia. For an optometrist, it's really an important responsibility, and where we all need to be skilled and equipped with the knowledge where we can help our patients in a better way. We should not be limiting ourselves only just to prescribe a glasses number. Whenever there's a change in the number, it's good. We make them see the best. But more importantly, we even need to feel responsible of that if we can somehow make a halt to that, somehow we can prevent to their progression of the myopia, because we all understand as the clinicians how the bad consequences it may have ultimately over the ocular health if we are not able to prevent that. So in this talk of today, considering the students also, I've tried to kept it very basic, and we will be having the questions at the end to have the whatever the questions that people are having in their mind to get them more clear about the important topic for this today. So we all know about the different data from the world, how the things of myopia progression and the incidents are getting highlighted. And in fact, to the label, it's really scary when we get to know that 50% of the world might be myopic by the end of 2050. So of course, we need to be really alarmed about that. And that's where a lot of work is happening in this direction across the world. When we say about myopia, like why we are so really concerned about that, because it does affect the individuals and particularly the children, because there are a lot of course, apart from the self-perception, many times we are not happy in wearing the glasses. Apart from that, it limits the opportunity for the kids. There are certain jobs which they may not qualify for that. It is becoming, in fact, one of the leading cause of blindness worldwide, even resulting into the economic burden of the nation. So various pathologies, which actually, if myopia is not getting controlled, which it can result into the ocular health, we all know how bad it can be. So that's where all the more reason to really work and focus on that to help our patients in preventing it, or not to prevent, at least to control it to a label. If you see the research, the literature available, the worldwide, there are a lot of different theories about the prevalence and progression of myopia that we get to know almost every day. There's intensive work happening in this direction, and it's more like a drive which is going on, where people are trying to understand and know the real etiology behind or what are the possible etiologies behind the progression of myopia or incidence of myopia. But yes, no doubt about that, there are factors which people are able to reach to some extent, but still there's a lot in that area to look for, where people can really be helped, because none of the theory is actually able to say that this is what actual the reason is and we should be able to do this. So different methodologies, different the research work is being tried, and based on that we try to help out the patients. About the genetic component, we all know, we have been reading about this since the beginning of our careers, and we all know that how the inheritance, the parent, if they're myopic, they are the reason for the incidence of myopia, and how it has more chances when both the parents are myopic. It's much more higher risk of developing the myopia. But this is fine till we know about the incidence. But if you see, and as we all have been knowing, it's alarmingly that in last decade, the things have really been worsening. The incidence of myopia has really gone high, and the focus has become in this direction after the COVID. And that was suddenly the visual need which has got changed for the kids, for the office people, for the professionals, and where most of the things are being done from the desktop, from the digital devices. The studies for the kids were totally completely on the mobile and the tablets and the laptops and the computers. And that's where we started getting a lot of children, even the elderly people, coming and reporting with the progression of their myopic number, or those who were not having to have becoming the myopes. So none of the existing theory is able to specifically highlight about that particular direction. When we think about the optometrical research, then they have demonstrated that environmental factor have been found to be the responsible for that, and that's where the blurring of the retinal image. That's because of the lack of accommodation or hyperopic defocus, which is one of the so far known the key factor which is being made responsible for that, labeled as that. And the other factors are like the demand of accommodation, where there has been intensive schooling and the reading work, which is another factor which is being like given a thought that this could another be the reason for the this progression of the myopia. why the binocular vision matters in the myopia control. That's actually the main topic today, and I'd like to share my experience on that, how we have been, well, what I feel as an orthoptist in that direction, and how we have been dealing with our patients with a similar problem. So for the students' point of view, just to understand, have a brief about binocular vision. What I mean here is eye focusing, eye teaming, and the eye movements. Focusing, we all understand that's the accommodation, which gives us the ability to focus over the variable distances at the distance, different targets in the free space. I'm able to look at the near, I'm able to look at my screen, look at the distance, watch the TV and all. So that automatically happens through a skill we all know, that is the accommodation, focusing. And eye teaming, that's where the two eyes work together and the movement of the eyes. So to see any object clearly, you can think of any example, even if you want to pick up any object from your table. So you have to actually first see that thing, that object clearly. So at that particular distance, your eye needs to focus. And then you need to move your eye in that particular direction, and then to have a teaming of that, because if teaming is not there, you may not be able to just the exact position of the object that you're thinking to pick up. So this is how broadly the entire focusing, teaming, and movement plays an important role, and which is the part of the binocular functions. An assessment of these, actually the accommodation, ocular motility, and the binocular vision help us in determining how well the eye can focus, how well the eye can work as a team, or how well the eye can move as per the requirement in different directions. I know when we started this vision therapy almost around 15 years ago, I still can recall those days. It was the binocular functions and the binocular vision therapy was not being accepted by the people, by the professionals, even our peers, the seniors, the ophthalmologists with whom we work. But yes, over the period, the way the literature has come up, the way the efficacy of the vision therapy has proved that these kind of skills are important, which people have incorporated them as a part of their routine clinical examinations, and with the help of therapies, they are able to help and improve the efficiencies of the individuals who are suffering with that. So there's no doubt about that. The vision, binocular vision assessments in your practice adds much more to the clinical picture in giving you the direction for the patient to hit a right problem, but it also actually makes the work for a clinician much more interesting in your routine. If you see, in terms of the myopia progression, I'll say the binocular vision could be that secret sauce that actually helps in bridging the gap that we are looking to fill up to know the reasons of myopia progression, and helping the different modalities which we are trying to help our children to follow through these modalities. It can even help them improving the efficacy of these modalities, if not the right answer for that. From the students, we all understand that how the ocular structures and the accommodative apparatus have variations when it is in the relaxed state and when it is the accommodative state. So we all know when we are in the relaxed state, the pupil is larger, our extraocular lens, crystalline lens is flatter. That's because the jonules are actually under tension because of the relaxed ciliary muscles. But when we accommodate, our ciliary muscles are contracting, resulting into the relaxation of jonules, and that actually thickens your lens. Just to think in the broader prospect, the lens is getting thicker so that the dioptric power is increasing, and that help us in making the image to focus on the retina. So that's the automatic thing. It's given by the God to us, and actually many times we as clinicians are not giving importance to it. But there are people who may not be having this behavior as normal. They may not be able to accommodate normally. So think about that. So what actually we expect from this accommodation in the eye? So when you're looking for a distance, we all feel that accommodation is relaxing. And if we're corrected for that, or we are e-metro, our image is falling on the retina. But when we change a focus from distance to near, what happens? We are actually expecting our eyes to increase the dioptric power, so that when we're changing the focus from distance to near, the rays ideally actually, it's possible that they should be falling behind the retina. But because of accommodation, the skill that we have, we are able to increase the dioptric power of the eye, and it helps us in focusing the image on the retina. So there may be some people who may not be able to achieve that successfully. If there's not sufficient accommodation, they're not able to exert the required amount of accommodation, you may find that the rays are still falling behind the retina. And that could, of course, be called as a lag of accommodation, where the children might be requiring the support to see the things clearly for near. And this may be, this could be the reason for many times the elongation of eyeball as well. The research even says that if you try to assess the axial length, elongation, and even the choroidal thickness, so with the accommodation, the amount of accommodation, the temporary, the sustained amount of accommodation that we require to see a near target can even result into the elongation of the eyeball. And more we are accommodating, there is more elongation of the eyeball. And the choroidal thinning happens at that process. So suppose we are accommodating for 3 diopters, you will have the elongation of eyeball. Further, if you are accommodating for around 5 or 6 diopter, you have further more elongation. And even the choroidal thinning is there with the amount of accommodation that we exert to see the near targets. So that could be a factor, again, substantially responsible to have a greater effect in the progression of myopia. That's a theory which is there in the literature. So interest in the binocular vision and myopia management actually fires from the difference that the difference of the binocular functions that the myopes and the emmetropes show. So there is a difference in the binocular function that's being reported, and how somebody with the myopia has what kind of accommodation status, which may not be same as the emmetrope, or how the vergence may get affected, or how the ACA ratio may be getting affected. Because if somebody is myope, just think about that. And if he's not corrected, but over the period, if you see, he has hardly required his accommodation to be in the use. So it's possible that his accommodating skill may not be really good. He may be having that lack of accommodation because he never required it. But when you correct the patient with that, I'm sure as an optometrist, most of us have realized when there's a little higher myopia and we correct even the elderly patients or the kids for that, in the initial couple of days, they come back to us and complain that the child is saying he's not able to see the near text clearly. That's because he's not able to exert the amount of accommodation which is being expected now, because earlier when he was not corrected, it was not being required for that label. So this is how the thought comes in, where the binocular functions plays an important role in understanding the progression of myopia. So all these differences that arise in the myopes and non-myopes for the binocular functions includes the accommodative efforts which are required at near if somebody is corrected for the myopia at the later age, and due to which there is a high lag over the time. So the myopes are supposed to be having the lag of accommodation. To see the objects clearly, they need to put extra efforts on the accommodative system, and that many times may even result into the accommodative convergence to play in, resulting into the issues like esophoria, the issues like high AC over A ratio. And when the accommodation there's a lack of accommodation, it may even affect your PRA, the positive relative accommodation. That may get affected. Accommodative facility may get affected because child may not able to relax when you're trying to assess the facility. So he may not be able to, he may not be very comfortable in exerting the accommodation. So when with the minus lens, he may be finding the difficulty on that in the facilities. So if your facility may not be good, your PRA may not be good, patient may have esophoria, patient may have a high AC over A ratio, lack of accommodation. So all the possibilities are there. So studies have found that AC over A ratio to be elevated prior to myopia onset, as low as 4 years prior to the myopia. So if somebody is developing the myopia now, it's possible that AC over A ratio was not normal much before that. And even the AC over ratio reaches its peak at the time when myopia actually has an onset, and it reaches this level of stability. So even it's possible that at least for 5 years after the myopia onset has happened, until it becomes stable, patient may have abnormal AC over A ratio. So insert these increased ratios could result from an increased effort, as I said earlier, required to see the near targets if the accommodation function is not normal. So, the literature even says that the mixed results from the different studies, but just to have a summary of all this, pre-myopes show a higher accommodative lag over who do not become myopic. So it has been compared that from the myopes and the non-myopes have been compared, and they found that correlation becoming even stronger after the onset of myopia has happened, and that indicates that this may be a feature and a cause of the myopia if the the lag of accommodation was there from earlier. Similar way, the children with the high AC over A ratio have increased risk of myopia over 20 times from those who have a normal high AC over A ratio. Or esophoria and accommodative lag in combination with the lower than A's normal hyperopia, that is 0.75 or less at the age of 6 to 7. So if somebody has the esophoria and accommodative lag at that age, so that could again have a higher risk of developing the myopia in future. IXT cases that we all see in our clinics that have been, they are associated with the higher prevalence of myopia. So a lot of XTs that we see usually have the myopic refractive error. And it's around 50% of children with IXT are myope by the age of 10 and 90% are myope by the age of 20. That's the data from the literature. Early onset myopic children are found to have significant more variable accommodative responses for both near and the far targets. So this could again produce the higher stress in the accommodative system, resulting into the myopia for the children. To manage that, increased that blur of the retina. This was the paper I was referring to from IMI, that's the International Myopia Institute. And according to them, it's evident that the role of accommodation and binocular vision, the development and progression of myopia is not fully understood. Aspects of blur from the lag of accommodation, the impact of spatial frequency at near work, and a short working distance may all be implicated in the myopia development and progression. So the response of the ciliary body and its link with changes in the choroid are still being explored with respect to the myopia development and progression. Researchers have not ruled out the role of accommodative system in this field yet, but current methods of intervention based on this theory have not yielded significant results. So based on this evidence till date, eye care practitioners should consider assessing the accommodation and the convergence system in young myopes and those at the risk of the myopia development to ensure they manage the patients, providing a clear retinal image. So if you see, this is what actually we as an optometrist needs to play an important role into this. That's not only limiting to correct the refractive errors, but to assess the other aspects relating with the myopia, so that if not today, we can get a more relevant answer to understand what's the cause for progression and then how can we help the patients over the period. Another systematic review of the near work, the myopic pathologies and other mechanisms for clinical coronaries, they concluded that precise objective measures of the near viewing behavior are necessary to make definitive conclusions regarding the relationship between myopia and near work. So focus should shift to for utilizing the objectives and continuously measuring the instruments to quantify near work behavior in children, followed longitudinally to understand the complex factors related to the near work. A better understanding of the roles and absolute working distance, temporal properties, viewing breaks, electronic device use on myopia development and progression will aid in the development of evidence-based clinical recommendations for the behavioral modifications. A lot of people, the institutes have started doing that, capture all that. What is the digital hours for the kid, and what is the routine for him? How much is the outdoor activities for that hours of outdoor activity the child is able to have? So those are the things which could over the time give us better answers for this problem. So how is that optical interventions are based on how is that optical interventions that are being recommended at present, they are helping the children. Let's understand that as well. So as I said initially, so most of the methodologies, the options which are being proposed as the option to control the progression of myopia so far are based on a common idea, common understanding, that is to blur the hyperopic defocus. The peripheral rays, which are actually, we all know the shape of the eyeball well. So rays from the center part of the eye are focusing on the retina, but the peripheral rays are focusing behind the retina. That's called the hyperopic defocus. So either if we can have something which can help us in blurring this hyperopic defocus, or if we can have a technology which can help us in inducing a myopic defocus. Rather than focusing, the peripheral is focusing on the retina, they focus before the retina, so in front of the retina. So that's how we can maybe to some extent have these kids. So this is how the different options which are there are working on reducing the off-axis hyperopic blur or inducing the off-axis myopic blur. One or more paracentral or peripheral zone of the plus power, as you can see here, with a clear center, there are the plus power zones which are being provided in these spectacle lenses or even in the contact lenses, where the distance vision is from this clear part, and for peripheral, the rays, they are tried to be either blurred for the hyperopic defocus or changing them into the myopic defocus, so that it can help the kids in preventing the progression of myopia. But such dual power designs have potentially to interfere with the accommodative and binocular systems. We should not forget that. Central part for the distance is clear, but the peripheral part, we are providing the plus power. So it's very much possible that a lag is there in the myope, that as the research about that, then providing the further plus to the peripheral rays, can there be the possibilities to not make further efforts to induce the accommodation, so child may be more relaxed in that way, and which could further give all the more reason to have a further accommodation lag for the child. So it may even further weaken the accommodative functions for the child. If you see how the switching a patient from the spectacle to contact lens works. So again, for the students to understand it better. So we know when we're seeing through a central part of the lens for the distance, and when you change your view to the near target, so the same spectacle lens for the myopic patient start working as a base-in prism, and the fact is seen more in the higher refractive errors. So how this in a way, how this myopic, the base-in effect is helping to some patients, but on the other side, it could be a problem as well. So if you see here, base-in effect, we all understand how the prism works. So rays coming from an object, if you see, they're bent towards the base. So it's possible when patient is looking at near through the glass of such kind, the myopic glasses, then the rays will be bending towards the base. It's possible the patient actually may not need to converse much because he's getting a support of the base-in prism. So due to which, there's even a possibility that since the patient is not looking through a center of the lens, and the dioptric power, if we all know that there's a less power towards the periphery of the lens, and he's seeing towards from the periphery now, it's possible the patient may further have a more lag of accommodation. Or when he's switched to a spectacle to the contact lenses, it's possible that base-in effect, which was helping the patient in controlling his exophoria to some extent, may become more exophoric now once he switched to the contact lens, or because of the lag of accommodation, because demand of accommodation increases when we switch the patient from to the contact lens from spectacle, as most of us have experienced even that. The early presbyopes, when they are myopic, and if you switch them to the contact lens for the exact correction, then many times they start requiring the aid early, and patient come back and complain that I was able to read clearly earlier with my spectacle, with my lens, I'm not able to do that because there's more demand for accommodation at that point. So this is how the binocular functions differ when we switch the patient from spectacle to contact lenses. So switching to contact lens increases the accommodation demand. Early presbyopes actually have faced a problem because of that, or there may be an exophoric shift as the base-in spectacle correction that was there in the spectacle is no more there. And moderate to high myopes with the esophoria in spectacle, of course, may get benefit. So somebody is myope with the esophoria, switching to contact lenses may help you in controlling that esophoria. But if it's exophoric already, which spectacle lens was helping him, switching to the contact lenses again may create a more exophoria to the patient. So this is how the several studies have investigated, and they are the mixed results from all these papers. Some have shown either the similar response to single vision and the contact lens, or there's a lead of accommodation. Others have showed that there's increased accommodative lag reduced monocular accommodative facility, exophoric shift when you're switching the patient from spectacle to contact lenses. And if you see how the bifocal and the multifocal lens impact the binocular functions, then there are the studies which say there's no difference with these dual focus contact lenses or extended depth, the aspheric contact lenses compared to the single vision. But on the other side, there are studies who say they have found the impact. There's a difference between, so suggesting that they can accommodate normally using distance portion of the lens. With these dual focus contact lenses, that's what the companies are saying. But the longer term monitoring is want, because as you're saying, there's a plus power at the periphery that may impact the binocular functions. That may increase the further lag of accommodation. So a close monitoring is required for these kind of patients. This is how the aspheric lens helps. So we all understand these optics from a normal lens and how the aspheric lens helps us in getting a much sharper and pointed image. So this has been found that aspheric lenses do not affect the accommodative facility and the horizontal forias. So they are the research available for that. So they're not even the reducing lag of accommodation is there, but adding that negative power can improve the slope of accommodative stimuli response curve, and that may actually result into the lag of accommodation. Other type of lens which is there, the center distance, soft bifocal lenses or the multifocal lenses, reduced accommodative response and an increased exophoria has been reported. So it may be, again, as I said, beneficial for the ESO-related patients, but for lag of accommodation patient and exophoric patient, again, it may be a problem. For the orthocardiology, it has been reported that there may be increased exophoria in young adult myopes, but they found that there's lower accommodation lag at near. So in fact, it's not worsening the lag. They say comparative to the routine soft lenses, in orthokeratology, they found there is a better lag. It lowers the lag of accommodation, it improves the lag of accommodation. So these lenses are suggested as a better strategy to slow the myopia progression in adults with binocular vision disorders. And then for the PAL, the progressive lenses, so again, as I said, children with the esophoria, because progressive lenses providing additional power at the near. And if there's if patient has an esophoria, then it could be a beneficial lens for the patient with the esophoria. And even for the lag of accommodation, if there's a combination of lag of accommodation with esophoria, again, a progressive lens or a bifocal could be a better choice. So why does this matter? Why I'm talking about all this shifting and all, how the binocular functions are getting affected. We, as I said initially, for the clinicians, it's really important to understand the myopia management need to know that whatever the practitioner is, the methodology one is prescribing or advising to a patient, how it's going to affect the binocular functions. Or whatever the status of binocular function is, what way is going to help the patient in improving his current binocular status. So either way, how your methodology or your option of controlling myopia can affect the binocular functions, or if somebody is not having the normal binocular functions, how that strategy can help in improving those binocular functions. So it's important for us as a clinicians. Just to have a brief of it. So esophoria and accommodative lag, as such, if we see, they're likely to be improved with the orthokeratology viewers. The multifocal contact lenses may also cause a small exophoric shift and may slightly increase the accommodative lag depending on their designs. Dual focus concentric contact lenses, like my side, appear not to alter the accommodative or Fourier status. New generation myopia controlling spectacle lenses like HOYA technology from SLR or the DIMS from HOYA also don't alter the binocular vision functions. That's how the literature says. And exophoria and accommodative lag can worsen when changing the myope, especially the higher myopes from spectacle to contact lenses. These are some of the recommended clinical evaluations from the IMI to monitor the changes, as well as to plan a strategy for you to which method to be tried to be prescribed for your patients. And then even to have a diagnosis, the differential diagnosis, what actually the binocular vision disorder is, there's some additional tests which should be done in a clinic by the optometrist. This is something I like to definitely add here. My experience so far, and I'll say in the last decade about the myopes, there are a lot of acute onset esotropias with diplopia complaint that we have seen, and this was more seen after the COVID. Somewhere, this excessive near work or the distal use has resulted into that. Myopia progression after exams is commonly seen. Since the board exam was over, every day we are seeing 1 or 2 children coming up with a drastic progression of the myopic glasses, that the numbers that they were using. ESO is increasing on follow-ups after the exams. After exams, the patient was having an ESO earlier, and then finding the esotropia increases for those patients. There have been a lot of studies in the past. So myops with the binocular vision dysfunction are actually at a BVD clinic. We're trying to help them understand all these details, and of course, trying to follow the methods which can help not only in controlling the myopia, but also help them in managing the binocular dysfunctions. And if required, even the vision therapies are being prescribed to these kind of patients. So we follow a very strict protocol to help these patients. If required, many times we even take help of prisons, and then gradually we help them. So just to have a concluding remarks from my side about the talk, the myopia has long been associated with inaccurate and insufficient accommodative behavior at near, and increased accommodative convergence in comparison to the emmetropes. So there is a literature on that. Detecting these conditions in both at-risk emmetropes or the children who already have a myopia can reveal the picture of myopia progression risk, and their management could provide added benefits to myopia control treatment. So binocular vision status additionally relevant to visual comfort. So whatever the myopic status, the binocular status is, if it's being assessed earlier, then you can decide the right methodology from the available options to try for the patient to ensure that child have a normal functions during his near work. And if binocular vision is normal, then selecting a myopia control option is not complicated. You can go for it. Choose the best treatment that is available, that suits the family and to their pocket, of course. And if binocular function is abnormal, then managing it through vision therapy as well as managing myopia may require a different strategy. So sometimes, even if you are giving a dual power lens or a multifocal contact lens, patient may be having a binocular function, but better to have a closer watch about the binocular functions because they may get impacted. So in case whenever required, you can always have interventions with the help of your vision therapy to keeping them normal. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prem sir, for sharing such an informative presentation. I'm sure our guests will have a valuable insight from your knowledge.
Thank you.
Okay, moving ahead. As it's World Optometry Day, and we are talking about taking actions and improving our skills, knowledge, and competencies. So, Vision Science Academy excited to announce the Bloggers Voice Competition, an opportunity to give voices to extraordinary blogs of optometry, which are creative as well as revolutionary in their own way. Season 1 of the competition is scheduled to begin in April 2023, and the winners will receive the Voice of Vision Sciences Award. Our contestant will have an opportunity to connect with optometry pioneers as well as win exciting prizes and gift vouchers from VSA. Now, without further delay, I would like to call Mrs. Beeta to continue the session.
Thank you so much, Susita, and thank you, Prem sir, for such an amazing presentation. In such a short time, you just cover almost everything in myopia, and good you express about International Myopia Institute. And I would like to tell my audience that International Myopia Institute membership is free. Please do subscribe to that website. It's a great white papers, by scholars. And if you just read the introduction on how the information comes, it's amazing. And you make yourself updated in that field. Well, Prem sir, there are a few questions to ask to you. One from our audience here, which has asked, sir, is the orthoptic workup done in case of myopia control is just same as a standard orthoptic workout procedure? If no, then what are additional tests required to work our protocol?
Yeah. So as there was one slide on that, just to add on to that and put it more simpler. So routine, you have to look for your phorias, near distance disparity, by measuring your phoria if it is there. Your accommodated dysfunctions needs to be assessed. So you're assessing for your MEM, any lag of accommodation, the facility status, and an RAPRA. And along with that, you're looking for the prism versions. So this is what usually the non-strabismic, the orthoptic evolution includes. Of course, for strabismic part, you will be going for much more detail into the AC over A ratios, calculations, measuring the different directions of gazes and all. That's a different thing. But yeah, from a routine point of view, as I said, yeah, you can have just as a routine practice for your patients. And that will help you, of course, in helping your patients in better way, because over time you'll get to know which patient actually progressed and which patient didn't progress. What was the binocular vision status in them when you decided for your method to help them.
Thank you, sir. Another question is, was the increase in myopia or ESO after exams a true one or a pseudo one? It could be a near work induced transient myopia that could disappear with cycloplegics.
Yep, it's very much possible. It could be pseudo even, but all these cases in our routine is the routine protocol. Whenever we see these changes, they undergo a cycloplegic refraction. And if this change, even you're getting under cyclo, the increased myopia, then of course you have to go for it. Otherwise, if you're finding the lesser myopia under dilation, yes, you have an opportunity to wait and have a close review again.
Yes. Sunanda has asked that if patient, particularly 10 years old, young adult, shows myopia progression and lag of accommodation along difficulty with minus lens, what will be the best myopia progression management? Will you still give addition plus lenses, or will you have different approaches towards this case?
So even the dual technology, as I said, from the DIMS glasses and the halt lens, both can be tried. Esophoria with lag of accommodation, or even just simply a lag of accommodation. I'll say to esophoric patient, yes, you should go for you should prefer going for a progressive lens. You should try that. Many times there's a lag of accommodation. The additional lens definitely help you in removing the symptoms for the patient. But we should not forget that there's a possibility it might induce or introduce an exophoria to the patient, which is not there earlier. So as I said, in the literature, as reported by these DIMS and the halt technology, that it doesn't hamper much to the accommodated dysfunctions and the phorias. So that could be a preferred choice at present to try with.
Thank you.
Sir, Sunanda, this side.
Hi, Sunanda.
Yeah, sir, good evening. So I had just a bit more, information if possible. So if this case, like it's the patient, if like a 7, 8, 10 years, having the lag of accommodation, there is no esophoria, it's like an ortho condition. And the patient is having the difficulty with the minus lenses as well. So if we are approaching, I don't prefer in this case to give the plus lenses, because it will, give more lag of accommodation. That's what I believe, because minus will increase that. So in that scenario, do you think giving a plus lens would be better?
So of course, not a plus lens, I will say. If you have a setup with the vision therapy, I'll sure, because as you're able to help your other patients with lag of accommodation or lead of accommodation, you can always try. So you go for your best corrected glass, try some vision therapies to help the lag of accommodation only. From point of view of controlling the progression of myopia, yes, you can try the technologies of the well.
So won't it be better to give some like a pharmacological treatment or ortho-K rather than giving the plus pulse kind of the control management, myopia management?
Pulse, I will say no to pulse. No to pulse unless patient is not really symptomatic. Somebody is having exams, not able to read, because therapies will not give the interim the outcome. So you can try as a temporary treatment for them. Even you can have a separate reading classes.
Yeah.
So
that's
otherwise,
excellent.
the best
Thank
will be
you.
to try on the therapies.
Yeah.
Anyway, you want to help the patient in improving that lag of accommodation. Try
Yeah,
with that.
definitely. Giving
And
some
once
minor
that
lens
becomes
exercises
normal,
would
then
be
you have the
better.
other options. Once the lag improves, you can have the choices.
Yeah,
They
we
are
can
planted.
incorporate some like a minus lens exercises along with the myopia
Yeah.
management with like
That's
a
what
ortho
we does
or
to
some.
improve the lag of accommodation. You can take help of minus lens rec,
Yeah.
rectal minus, and you can try for your even flippers because facility will be poor in these kind of patients.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Very nice. We have direct interaction with our audience. Pleasure. And the next question is, how much various myopia controlled treatment are effective in mixed astigmatism with high minus cylinder?
I don't know. I think there's a limitation of the high cylinders availability from the optical options, even for the contact lenses as well. So we have to refer to that chart. What are the powers which are available and how much is the patient's refractive error for the high cylinder. But yes, the things as such, if the range of the cylinder comes within the prescribing the available options, it will be the same. You have to look for the binocular dysfunctions, and then according to that, you can choose option from that.
Yes. And sir, I want to just ask you that, how is annual vision screening in school children in India?
It's quite variable, I'll say. Over the period, things have changed a lot. Even today, at the entry time of a school for a child, the school is asking for the eye report, the eye examiner report. But yes, it's quite variable. The cities, you may find that, but in the rural areas, still that's not getting followed. And then once the child is into the school, there are other supports from the institutes and even from private practitioners, the clinicians who are visiting these schools to help. In fact, there's a program in our institute during the COVID, since the schools were they were closed. So we had a door-to-door screening program. So we have seen almost 2 million children in that screening by going to the respective families and making that screening them there at their home. And this was a project supported by the Orbis.
Is this vision screening, throughout the nation, is supported by government? I mean, you receive funds from government, or it's just private session?
Unfortunately, not yet. Not yet.
Mm-hmm.
Not yet. But yeah, okay. There are some guidelines to the schools that they're supposed to have a child's the eye examination certificate at the time of the admission. Yes, so that changes the area.
Kavita, about your question about MyoSmart lenses, we are having a representative from HOYA company after Prem sir's talk, and you can ask this question directly from him. And the next question is, how important to check fusional amplitude in myopic patient? Is good fusional amplitudes are the culprit for progression of myopia?
Yeah, that's what I said. It's really important because you don't have a good positive vergence, even a small phoria, and you have gone for a dual focus lens or a multifocal contact lens, and having the plus power in the periphery, it might further induce the lag of accommodation, resulting into worsening of your positive fusional vergence and resulting into increasing the phorias. So all this is really important. Although it's not yet being practiced at more places, that whenever we see a dysfunction of the binocular vision in terms of poor vergence, poor accommodation, the patient should be referred to vision therapy. Luckily, we have at that setup at Shroff that we are able to refer our patient, because we have a separate myopia clinic, and whenever these optometrists suspect any of these binocular related functions in these patients, they actually are referring them to vision therapy. So along with the therapies for binocular vision improvement, they plan the right options for the myopia control also.
Thank you, sir. Kriti has asked, when do we start the combination of therapies for myopia progression?
Yeah, see, I haven't touched that point of the myopin or atropine or LDA, low dose atropine, in this presentation. But yes, that's the preferred choice. If you see in today's time, the LDA, low dose atropine, is being preferred a lot. And still there are children who come back to you with the progression. You're noticing that progression in them. So then you can even take help of the combination of therapies. And even few people have started going for a little higher dose if it is not affecting the structures of the eye and the functions of the eye for a child. Higher dose of atropine or a combination of therapies, LDA with your dual focus lenses, contact lenses, or the spectacle lenses.
And sir, do you have any information about the latest prevalence of myopia in India in young adults?
There was a recent study from AIMS only. I think that's the last one. I haven't seen from last 1 year. I haven't seen any literature published on that. Maybe, or I'm not aware. If somebody is aware, they can share. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And
but definitely, even the last paper, the way the incidence is being projected for 2050, the figures of India are not that disheartening. They looks to be little positive, not as high as being reported in some other countries.
And the last question from you as an expert in myopia, what is your experience about HOYA lenses, especially Myo lenses and other lenses for treating the myopia?
So I know we're going to have a session from HOYA today, and they'll be happy to hear that from me as well, that yes, we have been practicing the HOYA. That's the first lens in our institute at our myopia clinic. Preeti, I think, had some questions. So she's the expert who's prescribing the maximum HOYA lenses at our institute at present to help these children. And as we're seeing, referring to the data out there, yeah, the results are actually appreciating. So we have still not analyzed the complete data, but yes, the initial signs shows, yeah, it's positive.
Thank you so much, sir. So, and I would like to just call the representative of HOYA, and we will get back to you after the session. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, I would like to invite Mr. Shankarraman from HOYA company. So let's give a warm welcome to him and get started with the HOYA talk. Mr. Shankar, are you there?
Yes, I'm there. So hope you can hear me.
Yes, very clearly. Hello, sir.
I think after listening to Prem's wonderful talk, I think people should forget his talk and listen to what I'm saying. I'm going to talk, because it's very difficult to forget what Prem has spoken.
Yes, sure.
Because the way he has spoken, it was very informative. So people will be very much thinking about his talk.
Yes.
So let me share my screen and hope you can see the screen.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let me take you through HOYA. What is HOYA actually, to the people who are participating in this session. So we have a mission of dedicated to innovation in information technology and lifestyle and culture. And we hold around 1,592 patents and 2,154 patents, including the patents recently transferred from the ViSThON. And we are mainly focusing on information technology and life care. Majorly on life care, we handle the healthcare and the medical, which is the maximum mileage and maximum concentration which we handle with. And we are number one in most of the divisions we have, except for the eyeglasses, we are number two. And in medical endoscopes, we are number two. But rest of the other divisions, we are semiconductors or glass substrates or optical lens, all these intraocular lenses, we are number one in the world. So let us just go through what is happening in new innovations for of HOYA. The new innovation what we have is MyoSmart. So we all know, as Mr. Prem was saying, that the peripheral defocus is one of the major issue. We all know that there is a hyperopic defocus which is creating the excellent elongation, and we don't have any options as of now. We never had any options as of now. And now we found an option by name MyoSmart, which not only corrects the vision on the center, but also treats the peripheral defocus and reduces the axial length elongation and thereby controls the progression. So how does it work? MyoSmart on the front surface is divided by two various portions. One is the clear zone on the center, where we have 9.4 mm on the center, which is calculating the corneal size and the dilated retina size. We have dilated pupil size. We have calculated 9.4, and we have also kept this treatment zone on the mid peripheries, which is of 33 millimeter, looking at the eye rotation center. In this 33 millimeter of the treatment zone, we have 396 defocus islands, and each island will be around 1 mm in diameter, and they have a space of 1.5 mm between themselves from center to center. And each and every island carries a plus 3.5 defocus power. This defocus power is the reason for creating the myopic defocus on the peripheries. So what happens when you look at the cross section of the eye? When the rays are passing through the central zone, where we don't touch the central zone, we are making it as a clear zone. The single vision optics remains the same on the center, so the rays are falling on the front on the retina. And when the razor passes through the defocus islands, the convergence happens in front of the retina because we have the plus 3.5 defocus power within each and every island. And when the child looks at the images through the central zone as well as the islands, 50% of the rays are falling on the retina and 50% of the rays will converge in front of the retina. This 50-50 ratio will always be maintained, invariable of the prescriptions, whether the child is looking at the side gazes or looking at the up and down gazes. So for every myopic product, we need to have a very strong clinical evidence. HOYA is the only company with which has got 6 years of clinical trial conducted, started from 2014 and ended in 2021. In between, we had 1 year of COVID, so we didn't conduct any trials. We didn't follow up on the kids were wearing this MyoSmart. So because of the closure of the campus. So we did this particular 6-year clinical trial, and we divided the group into 4. And the first 2 years was the randomized clinical trial, and rest of the 4 years was the follow-up trial. And in this 6-year clinical trial, we divided the group into 4. The first group was wearing MyoSmart continuously for 6 years, and the second group was wearing MyoSmart for 3.5 years, and for the rest of the 2.5 years, they were shifted to single vision. And the third group was wearing single vision for the first 2 years during the RCT, and rest of the 4 years they were wearing MyoSmart. And the fourth group was wearing single vision on the first 2 years of RCT, and the third and the fourth year they were wearing single vision, and the fifth and the sixth year they were once again shifted to single vision. Why did we shifted the people again and again? Is to just find out whether there is any rebound effect, which normally the researchers wanted to know. So the longest myopia controlled spectacle lenses study was done by MyoSmart, and we could see that there is a cumulative progression of 0.92 diopters for those children who are wearing MyoSmart continuously for 6 years, and the axial length elongation was seen to be 0.6 in the 6 years period, and they were almost touching the hemetropic level in the third year itself during this clinical trial. And children who were shifted from MyoSmart to single vision, we could see that people were again progressing, and when the children were shifted from single vision to MyoSmart, the progression was controlled. So this is a proof that MyoSmart is controlling the progression of for myopic kids, as well as also reducing the progression of the axial length elongation. MyoSmart is one of the product which has a coating which is an anti-reflection coating, which comes with an anti-reflection coating. It's a special coating which is made from Thailand, and it comes with a power range of plano to a maximum of 10, which is available only in the minus power. No more pre-myopes can use this, or no plus power is available as of now. And we only have a minus power which starts from plano to a maximum of 10, or resultant power of 10. And we have a combination maximum allowed is 6 with 4. We have 4 different diameters, 60, 65, 70, 75, depending on the power range. Apart from MyoSmart, we also have a new innovation, which is the full control which is recently launched by HOYA. The full control lenses will have all the facilities in a single lens or a single coating, we can say. It has the anti-reflection coating, which is the best coating which HOYA has produced. And if you see in the industry, HOYA has the best anti-reflection coating when compared to any of the company in the industry. And this particular coating also has a UV control, blue control, and the last but not the least, it has the best antibacterial control also, which is given for an everyday hygiene. So this is a new innovation which has been promoted, which has been launched in India with an antibacterial, blue, and an UV control together. The next innovation, or we cannot call it as an innovation, but next step which HOYA has taken forward is joining hands with Hackstraight. So we have joined hands with Hackstraight and started promoting the LensStar Myopia for the clinical optometrists and ophthalmologists to have a comprehensive myopia management. And what does it LensStar Myopia do? It has a biometry, and it has the axial length elongation done, and it also has an eye suit. So this gives you the graph for the parents to understand how their children are going to be if they are not treated with myopia management tools. And it will also tell the parents that if they are getting treated with various management like orthokeratology or contact lenses or bifocals or a myosmart, where your children will be after a few years from now on. So the LensStar Myopia is one very sleek machine which takes the measurement of axial length, keratometry, vitreous chamber depth, and also gives you the biometry, and for the counseling also it can be used, looking at the future course of action. The other thing which HOYA is doing is creating an awareness, also creating a learning center along with the Shankarraman Academy. So we also know that the new optometrists who wanted to take up clinical practice require a training which needs to be, and also to give them the confidence level to go independent. So HOYA Lens has joined hands with Shankarraman Academy, and this is a one-stop learning solution where we create a learning module. There are different modules which has been created with the help of Shankarraman Academy, and depending on the interest of the particular optometer of the refractionist, they can choose the modules, and they can get an expertise and also get the experience of people who are there in this industry, and they can learn from them a lot. We also wanted to create an awareness. So how do we create an awareness? We joined hands with certain associations during the last year. We not only look at the commercial aspects. Yes, we know we need to have the business which needs to be done, but at the same time, we also wanted to create an awareness, public awareness. So we joined hands with certain associations like Orbis, which is a non-profitable organization, where HOYA joined hands with Orbis, and we created the awareness program, school camps, and then we also distributed free lenses, spectacle lenses for these children who needs correction. Not only that, we also did the CSR activity. We went to different places. Not the school's children received the free lenses. We also went to certain down to the B, C and the B class areas where we did the free refraction, and we distributed the lenses free of cost, joining hands with India Vision Institute at Trilokpuri, Delhi, as well as in Chennai. And for the first time, we joined hands with the OC Association OCI, and for the first time we launched a TV campaign on the World Sight Day. What was the TV campaign is? I don't want to just show you what is it, but I just want to brief you about this. For the first time in the history, we did the World Sight Day in a very premium channel, and we had a 2-minute awareness campaign, joining hands with OCI, creating awareness for world on a World Sight Day. So these were all the programs. So HOYA not only created the product which is required for the people or for the current need of the patients. We also wanted to create an awareness and also wanted to encourage more optometrists and refractionists to learn and be independent. So this as a package, we always offer and we always join hands with the people, and we will always be very happy to join hands with the practitioners to develop their practice. We will never be a competitor, and we will always be helping the people to grow their business, grow their expertise and their technology, and we will help them a lot in joining hands with certain academies also. So thank you very much for giving this opportunity, and the opportunity given to us on a World Sight Day. We started today morning wishing the optometrist the World Sight Day. And thank you very much. In India, it is 9 o'clock. So we are also saying good night, optometrist, by saying that best wishes on a World Optometry Day. So HOYA started off wishing people, and we are also saying good night by wishing you people.
First,
so thank you very much. Thank you very much for giving us the opportunity. Thank you. So any questions, I'm ready to take. Thank you.
Thank you, Raman sir, for your presentation and also for sponsoring this series of webinar. You had such a significant impact, and thank you again once again. And if you want to add any point, because no questions so far, so you can just go for it.
There is nothing much, but we will be looking at various options in the same myopia management. We will also be looking at bringing new additions in MyoSmart, like photochromic lenses and the Polaroid lenses for people who are dilated and people wanted the option of taking up a Polaroid or a photochromic lenses. We'll be getting that option also. And we will also be working at an option of coming out of the contact lens on the same technology over a period of time. We are working on that. And we will also be working on the same DIMS technology for not for myopes, but for hyperopes also. So there are many things which is in pipeline for HOYA, and we will also take a step forward of telling the people that we not only are going to give you a product which is going to correct your vision, but we are also going to give you a product which is going to treat your condition. So this is what we will be in the coming years. So that's all from me. Thank you very much.
And Raman sir, is it any plan for your future that Raman sir, we don't have you?
Yeah. Sorry. Okay.
Is there any future in HOYA's plan to manufacture plus lenses, because Kavita has asked +1 with -5 cylinder MyoSmart is not available?
Yeah, MyoSmart is only for the myopic patient. We don't even look at pre-myopes to be treated with MyoSmart. See, MyoSmart is being given only for the myopes. So,
Okay.
So when we have this same technology, we are working on the technology for pre-myopes as well as the hyperopes. So when we have the same technology, we will definitely work on the technology. We will definitely come out with a solution for Kavita and offer the same product.
So you already answered the next question from Kavita also. So for further high myopes like -13 also, you are just waiting for advanced technology. Thank you so much, sir, for your presentation, and again for sponsoring our webinar series.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah. And Prem sir, I would like to ask you to please announce the Innovative Idea Award winners, as everybody's just waiting for that.
Okay, thank you. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so again, fortunate to have this announcement, and thanks VSA team to give me this opportunity to announce it. There are 3 people who have been awarded for this competition. I'll start with the third one, who has got the 3rd position. And in this award, the VSA is going to support the winners, the last 2 ones, 2nd and 3rd winners, with the 10-pound gift vouchers. That's really good. And then for the winner, this is a little higher. There's a 15-pound gift voucher along with a wildcard entry to the upcoming competitions of VSA, the Bloggers Boys. So that's really going to be encouraging for the people who win, and those who miss this opportunity, I'm sure they're going to find it exciting to be the part of it whenever they get this opportunity. So the third award has gone to.
Sir, I am also 20. Sir, I am also 24/7. I was giving a talk for a World Optometry Day in ViSThON.
No,
Yes,
there's
sir.
another award, but which has been planned for you by VSA and ITM University. That will be couriered to you separately.
Maybe
Yes,
next time.
excluding the same cost.
Okay, so the third recognition is third position has gone to Sunidhi
We are not giving anything
Kumari.
as of now. So
Sunidhi
only thing what
Kumari,
we are doing is once if the prescription is jumping, we give the second pair. Once if the when they buy a second pair after the prescription is jumped within 6 months or 9 months, we.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, that's award for practitioners or for patients.
I think we don't have sir now. Okay, sir, you can continue. If we just get him back, just continue.
So Sunidhi Kumari from Dr. B.C. Roy Engineering College, she has got the third position for this award. So congratulations, Sunidhi, for this.
Thank you, sir.
10 points.
Thank you.
Award and certificate is going to be, I think, sent to you from BSA. And the second position has gone to Deepak Kumar from TBC. That's the short form I have with me. So if he's there, good. Congratulations, Deepak, to you too. So you got an award of 10 pounds, gift voucher, and a certificate for the same. And the winner for the contest is, I know there are no guesses as such. I can't ask even for that. So Saurabh Suman. Saurabh Suman is from Galgotias University. So
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Saurabh, yes, sir.
There, good. Saurabh, congratulations to be the winner for this. And
thank you, sir.
Feel encouraged.
Thank you, sir.
Participate more and more for these kind of event. Become an example for the others and even guide the others whoever looks for this support from you. So great achievement.
Yes, sir.
And congratulations.
Thank you, sir. So let us just invite our parents one by one and just have a little talk by them. Saurabh, Suman, can you please just turn on your video and just give us a little speech about how this thought came to your mind, and if you can just give a little talk about that.
Yeah, and what was your innovation? Even share that as well.
Hello.
Saurabh, I think he's muted.
I have no idea.
Saurabh.
Saurabh, are you there? I think we lost him. All right. So let's invite the next winner. I mean, the second position. Deepak Kumar. Can you just come on the screen and just have a little talk about your journey of thought? Deepak, are you there?
No, it's not in. No.
Okay. Yeah, I think she is not there. And the last one, Vidhi Kumari. I hope you are there. Vidhi, are you there? I think they are not there. We just lost them. All right, Prem sir, can you please carry on with closing the session?
Okay, so again, a responsibility. Okay, so I must start with the great thanks to the team of VSA, ITM, of course, Shiv, Sucheta, Bita, and of course, the show was not possible without the lead, the Abhishek. the CEO of VSA. So Dr. Abhishek, really, actually, when I got to know the initial mail from you that this is what you're planning, a series of 50 seminars in collaboration with the ITM University, actually, it's more like a goosebumps that I had on that day. 50 seminars, how is it going to be? So, and of course, I could not attend most of them, but yes, I got updated the way it was going on, and no doubt about this. It gave opportunity, of course, to the participants, the students, the optometrists, to be the part of this important platform and get updated. But it gave an opportunity to many other the faculties actually. So it was really an opportunity for young faculties as well. I was saying that I'm sorry to say, but actually I was not knowing a lot of them, but good to see them at this platform. So getting this kind of platform, only I think Abhishek and team can provide to the people so easily. It's easy to access everything so easily and so organized actually, without the glitches. For everything I know, this guy keeps the bird eye, as you say, because for any such program to have at this level internationally being done, difference of timings, it's not possible without that kind of vision, that kind of, I think, close monitoring, and of course, leadership to encourage your subordinates, your team, and to be at this level. So I must congratulate, of course, all the winners for the contestant that they are there, all the faculties who could get opportunity to be on this platform for these 50 seminars. And today was the final installment of that seminar. And I personally want to thank all of you to give me the opportunity to be at this platform today. In fact, I was waiting. You guys didn't tell me, okay, when can I be the part of it? But yes, good. At the last, at least you called me for this. And I hope I justified the slot for this, the important role which was given to me today. So I must thanks everyone. I know I'm not knowing personally to a lot of people here, but yes, whoever, whatever way contributed, it was an amazing session, and it was 2022-23. I wish there are going to be sessions like that. So all the students, all young optometrists, please try to take advantage of all these sessions. The easiest way to get the best of the gist from the skills, whatever people have. Otherwise, people spend huge for this to get this kind of knowledge. So take out time from your routine schedule, and whenever you get an opportunity to be the part of these kind of stations, platforms, please be there. So Bita, thanks. Sucheta, Abhishek, everybody, Shiv from ITM and the team. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir, for just being part of Vision Science Academy and also for your presentation. And I know it's quite late in India, still you made it. You are with us. And thanks to our participants. Yes, sir.
And just many congratulations to all the optometrists on this important day of World Optometry. At SHOP, we have been celebrating a week, which is going on. We had a lot of events.
Like Indian marriage, you know, it's just properly celebrated.
I have a few slides on that, but I think we're already late for it. But yes, I'd like to share information to all audience that on 26th, which is the closing of our optometry week, we're going to have a CME, which is focusing on the research in optometry and the myopia control. So how optometrists can play an important role in the myopia control. So it will be an interesting platform for people to be there. It's a physical conference, a physical CME, followed by a workshop from SLR. So please, whoever can make it possible, you can pin to me, or if you know somebody in SHOP to get more information about it and try to be the part of it. Although we have some limited seats, I think we've reached the registration. So try your luck if you can be the part of it.
For those of us like me and Sucheta and Dr. Abhishek who are far from India, is there any possibilities to get, the video record of this workshop or not?
So we were planning to record the sessions, hopefully. So yeah, we'll try to share that as well. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you. All right, Sucheta, you can just go for the closing the session.
Thank you so much, sir, for such a valuable talk. Yes, Mr. Shankarraman wants to say something.
So on On behalf of HOYA, with the entire team, I would like to wish all the optometrists a great optometry day. And you have been a part of giving a proper vision, in fact, in both the sense, the proper vision physically as well as mentally also to many people. So request you to continue your hard work, continue your research and counseling patients. And you people are doing a great job joining hands in many of the associations and many of the hospitals. I could see that you are the frontliner in most of the eye care programs. So I, on behalf of HOYA, once again, wish you all the best. A great year ahead, and you'll be recognized a lot. Optometry will be recognized a lot in a very near future. So thank you very much for the great work you have been doing. Thankful job, in fact, actually, if you see, you have been doing all these days. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your support. This would not be possible without your support.
Definitely.
Thank you so much. Once again, I would like to take this opportunity and thank everyone who have attended this webinar and made it a huge success. Thank you to all our speakers. Thank you, Prem sir, and everybody who have joined ViSThON and made it a huge success. I would also want to acknowledge the support and contribution by our premium sponsor, HOYA, IOA, and ITM University. I would like to express my gratitude to Dr. Abhishek Mandal, Mr. Shiv Shankar.
Abhishek needs to be on the screen, actually. Let the people see him. Who's the face behind all this?
Yes. Sir, if you can turn on your camera.
Please honor us.
Yeah.
Come to the screen, please.
Hello,
That's the
everyone.
driving force, actually.
So he is our mentor and our guide to do these sessions. Thank you, Mr. Shiv, for putting everything together, the technical team, IT team, and the design team of VSA for all of your support and bringing these events together. Your tremendous efforts and dedications are greatly appreciated. So everyone, please keep an eye on VSA website for latest events and updates. We will look forward to your continued participation in our future events.
And about our certificate, can you just mention about our issuing the certificate,
Yes, the certificate of appreciation to attend this session of World Optometry Day, you will get after 2 to 3 days or within a month. And those who have attended 40 complete sessions of webinar, you will get your certificates through your email in April 2023.
Yeah, and that 2-3 days which you mentioned is 2-3 working days, because we are having Saturday, Sunday, which is not, Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bita. Thank you, everyone. Thank you once again. See you all. Bye.
Good evening. Bye.
Good night, everyone.